Hello, it's Tanya with Tinkering and Ink with Tanya, back with a video featuring a new die set from Spellbinders called Holiday Woodblocks. It has three big sentiments that are woodblock style. One says ho ho ho, one says Noel, and one says joy in two directions. There's also a 'tis the season letters sentiment die cut and a beautiful layering poinsettia. I'm going to use watercolor paper for this first layer, and I think I need to get some new plates for my platinum because there's just one spot that does not want to cut cleanly, and I made this card before, so this is my second time making this card. And I'm using different methods this time because I like to mix things up. But the first time I did it, I had no problems cutting through that. I really do think I need some new plates. And ladies and gentlemen, you are worth new plates. They are not that expensive. So I'm going to use some Inca Gold in the yellow gold color. And I put a little bit in this paint palette and mixed it with far too much water. You're going to see me struggle a little bit with this. I do not get as dark and brilliant a gold as I would like. I'm just going to take a watercolor brush and paint it on carefully. You just have to be a little careful around those holly leaves attached to the O's and quickly paint that on. These dies are intricate and beautiful, but they are not hard to work with at all. I'll make a couple more videos featuring these dies coming up, and we'll use a few other methods to add color and layers to these to make them extra special. Now I am super patient. No, I'm not. So I took my heat tool and I dried that first layer of the Inca Gold paint. And this time I'm going to pretty much take it directly from the pot. I did have to revitalize my Inca Gold. I've had this for a couple years and it does dry out. So I slowly added distilled water back to it to make it creamy again. And you can use that same method for embellishment, easy for me to say, embellishment mousse, and other kinds of mediums. Frequently you can add water back into them when they dry out. And then they're good as new. So the previous time that I did this, so I'm going to use my Daniel Smith watercolors here, sorry. Ooh Shiny Squirrel is my middle name, yes. I'm using my Daniel Smith watercolors here. This is a palette that I purchased from a group that does a share. And I just mixed a couple of greens to get the tone that I wanted and quickly brushing it on. I didn't have to be terribly, it's not hard to do this die cut to watercolor it. Now that I'm done watercoloring it, look at how pretty that is. The lovely shimmer, and it dries pretty fast. So I did die cut it again with a piece of coaster blank, and I'm using my fun craft pick there. I got this one from Concord at 9th. A bunch of companies carry them. Spellbinders has one that has a roller brush on the one end and a pokey tool on the other end. So there's lots of options there. Now I'm going to take my Barely Art Precision Craft Glue, and I'm going to put that all over the back of the die cuts and glue them together. You could do this with a couple of layers of cardstock if you don't want to use coaster blank. And then I'm just going to put something heavy on top of it to help it dry quick. I don't know if these are current anymore. These are the Hemstitch squares, or no, excuse me, Hemstitch rectangles from Spellbinders. And that does fit pretty much perfectly on a A2 card front. And it makes a beautiful, simple, elegant layer. So that's what's going to be the front of our card. The other methods I used to color the ho 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 were with Hero Arts metallic Glimmer Ink. You can use metallic watercolors. You can use all kinds of different methods to get that gold beautifulness. I'm going to use the Glimmer Foil plates here. These are a Glimmer of the Month from a few months ago. And it has a bunch of skinny sentiments with a couple of styles of banner dies. And whenever I do glimmer foiling, I do a few because I like to have some stashed. Because it does take time to heat up the system. So you heat it up. As you saw, you put the foil face up and then you put the little die on it, or the plate, hot foil plate on it. And then you run it through your die cutting machine after it's been heated up. I'm using the banner die that came in the Glimmer Foil kit, or excuse me, set, and you can make these banners any size you would like. I did end up having to redo this one because I didn't quite get it lined up right when I run it through for the second end of the banner. I find that it works better if you don't completely cut the banner out the first time, so you can slide it into the grooves a little better when you flip the end around. I tried trimming it off, and I have to be honest, I am not that straight of a cutter, especially in these little banner things. They just look better if you don't have to trim them. Unless you're really good at it. Maybe you are. So my plan is to center that on the middle hoe. And you can fix any overfoiling from your Glimmer Foil system by just running an eraser over it lightly. I've got some coaster blank here that I've cut to fit behind this panel. I just measured to make sure it stayed inside the Hemstitch details so it didn't show through. And I took an A2 card base in 110-pound Nina Solar White, and I am going to adhere that to the card front quick. We're almost done with the card. It's a pretty simple card. I'm going to add the You Slay with another piece of chipboard behind it. And we're going to adhere the Ho 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 to the card base first. Again, just a quick slap on of these dots of glue. I really like the precision tip on this glue bottle because I don't have to tap off any excess glue with it. It does dry pretty fast, so you don't have a lot of time to meticulously apply your glue. So you stop being so picky. It goes much faster that way. I'm going to eyeball this and center it on my card front. And while I am giving that a little time to dry, I pull out my, I believe it's Autumn Red Nouveau Glimmer drops. And I'm going to add those as the berries on that holly berry branch after I adhere the sentiment. I just wanted to, or I had done a few practice ones on another piece of paper to make sure that they didn't bubble or have air bubbles or weren't really stringy. You can add, again, another product you can add a little water to carefully. And then I pulled out of my stash this little glitter duster with the rock candy glitter from Tim Holtz, and I quickly spritz that over the Nouveau Crystal Drops to get some shimmer on there. And that is the whole card. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you come back soon and see the second and third videos I plan to have up in the next week or so. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please take a moment and click that subscribe button. And thank you to everyone who uses my affiliate links. I really appreciate it. Until next time, bye-bye.